Self with no help from agent whatsoever. All the information can be found on internet, and I will give all of the links on the description box. And basically, I want to share this because I know how heartbreaking it can be when you get separated from your dog, because you bring your dog and you transit at the wrong country and your dog is being taken away from you because of the quarantine regulation in that country, and your dog has the possibility of being taken away from you for 3 to 4 months in a foreign country. So that's something that you want to avoid. So again, just a quick disclaimer. This is for information purpose only, and all information that I share here, you have to verify it and double check it on your own. So I do bring my dog, and my dog is being treated as a hand carry bag by the airline. So there are some notes that I want to share here. Each airline have their own rule and regulation. Each country have their own rule and regulation, and each airport have their own rule and regulation. Therefore, this is the reason why I chose the fastest arrival plane to my destination, and that is LAX, Los Angeles. I actually chose Japanese airline, and basically the route is Jakarta International Airport, which is CJK, to Narita with a transit layover for 1 hour only, and from Narita to LAX. And the reason is because I want to make sure that my dog is not being transferred to other airline, because I do not want to take the chance of my dog have to pass through Japanese immigration. Because if my dog pass through Japanese immigration, my dog will be detained in Japan for 3 to 4 months. Also, the allowance time of transit in Narita cannot exceed 4 hours. Again, the transit time in Narita cannot exceed 4 hours. Some countries have very strict rule on pets transit. So if your plane actually land on the wrong country, your pet will get quarantined. So you have to have your dog chip with an ISO standard chip, and I have the standard code on the next screen. I have my dog chip and have his rabies shot at Dr. Chuchu's office at the Green Garden in West Jakarta. And with the traffic in Jakarta, with the heavy traffic and everything, I would suggest that you call the vet office just in case they do not have the chip available. In the case where they do not have the chip available, you can actually purchase the chip on your own and bring it to the vet office. So this picture on the right, I actually got it from Tokopedia. And you just make sure that the ISO standard is there and purchase the one that is for dog or cat. So it's 71,000 rupiah at Tokopedia, and this one at Amazon.com. But Amazon.com, like, it takes a long time to arrive in Jakarta. And this one is from Manruta. So basically, this one have the same ISO standard. Just make sure it has the same ISO standard. And basically, you can just bring the chip to the vet office and they will do it for you. It's important to know what type of dog you have. So AIRLINE have restriction on which dog they cannot accept. Usually they cannot accept any short snout dogs such as pug or Pekingese. They also cannot accept particularly aggressive dog like pit bull. The most important authority department is Balai Besar Karantina at Soekarno-Hatta Airport. If your dog is going to America, they will not be quarantined. But it is important to highlight this department because this department is the department that will release all of the necessary papers for your dog to be boarded on the plane. What I want to ask of you is you need to make sure that you have all the right papers. And the people that work here, I have found that they are very helpful. So please be proactive, be polite, call them, ask them what papers you need to bring your dog to the destination that you are going, be it LAX, be it London, UK, they know everything. These people know everything. What papers you need, what papers you don't need, these people know everything. The reason why I have this backward is because these are the documents that you need before you go to the Soekarno-Hatta quarantine, okay? Now, these official papers that you need to obtain is you need to go to Dinas Ketahanan Pangan, which is at Gunung Sahari. This is their phone. You want to make sure that you get this permit 2 weeks prior your departure date because the validity of these papers is 2 weeks prior to the departure date of your airplane ticket. So the things that you need in order to obtain the official paper from Dinas Ketahanan Pangan will be Surat Kesehatan Hewan, which is the health certificate that you can get from your vet. Most vet do not have health certificate papers ready on their clinic. So my suggestion to you is you actually already have a template printout and ready for them to fill up, sign, and stamp. And I would suggest that you actually make it bilingual and make it look nice, clean, and official on a sheet or 2 sheets of paper and, have the vet fill it, sign it, and stamp it. This is the reason why I really like Dr. Chuchu because Dr. Chuchu's vet are absolutely wonderful. They are very helpful and I'm not associated in any kind with them. Again, this is just for information purpose to help you guys. And I'm not associated with the veterinarian, but I mean, like in this case, with so many procedures that you need to fill, it's really helpful to have a really nice vet that helps you out. For US destination, actually, you will find it that it is much easier than what agents told you. And the Balai Karantina in airport will confirm this. For US destination, it's super easy. You basically just to make sure that your vet get their rabies shot, like 30 days minimum prior to departure. And you do not need to take the blood test of the vet. So again, so far the most helpful vet to me is Dr. Chu Chu in Green Garden. So this is their contact. And again, I'm not associated at any kind with them, but they are really the most helpful. So after you have all of those papers, okay, including the one from this department, including the one from this department in Gunung Sahari, when you have all of the papers, please, please, please go to Soekarno-Hatta Agriculture Quarantine. You need to lay out all of the papers to them, okay? And also bring your dog. Bring your dog along with you, along with the pet carrier, because they need to check whether your dog really have the chip. And they need to check what documents that you need to complete or what documents that you are lacking. Because 2 days prior to departure date, you will need to come to them again, and they will be the one who gave you the go papers. They will be the one who decide whether your dog is going to board that plane or not. So please, go to their office, ask them. They are very helpful. In my opinion, they are super helpful. So these papers, you need their permission papers. Okay, you need it for you to hand it over to the Japanese airline staff on check-in counter. You need to hand over the papers upon your arrival at Narita Transit. You need those papers. In my case, I choose Japanese airline to Japanese airline, and I purchase it from Expedia.com. In this screen, I want to explain to you that in my case, the Japanese airline aircraft only have 2 space. So you really need to book the space as early as possible. And the thing is, the one who booked the space for your pet is not Japanese airline customer service in Jakarta, because they do not have the right instrument to book space for your dog. The one who is actually booking the space for your dog is Japanese airline customer service headquarters in Japan. So when you call them, you will find out that they do not really speak English. So talk to them slowly, and they absolutely help me out. They ask me my airline route, my plane number. They ask me the type of dog that I have, the dog carrier dimension, the weight of my dog, and the weight of my dog and the weight of the carrier. So the total freight. And even though the lady that received my call cannot really respond to me, she jotted all down, and she jotted down my contact number, my phone number, my email, and she makes sure she get back to me and confirm the space of my dog from CGK to Narita and Narita to LAX. She is the one who called me 6 times. This is overseas call. She called me 6 times overseas call from Japan to make sure that she got all of the description correct, the information correct, and she made sure she booked the space for my dog. Actually, the Japanese airline customer service in Jakarta doesn't help at all. And the type of crate that you have to purchase is IATA standard. So I will give the link on the description box. You can get this crate from Tokopedia. Because my Pomeranian is a standard size Pomeranian, I actually purchased it for around 500,000. You need to measure the size of your dog. So when your dog stand, is the crate tall enough for them? When your dog lay down, is the crate long enough for them? Remember, guys, this is like 15 hours flight. You want to make sure your dog is as comfortable as possible. Okay. So follow the standard, follow the rule. In Tokopedia, it's basically called Scudo IATA Pet Cargo. So again, it all depends on the pet carrier size. There are explanation and stickers that you need to stick on top of your Scudo pet carrier. Basically, what I do is I purchase a sticker sheet from the bookstore, Gramedia. So actually, if you use like desktop printer, you can purchase a sticker sheet. It's like regular paper sheet that you put in your, you know, in your desktop printer, but it have a sticker, element. And so I basically put the photo of my dog and put the name of my dog, and I put the address of my address in America, and I put my phone number. So all of this explanation, you need to put it on top of your Scudo pet carrier. Also, you want to put some food, dry food, on the Ziploc bag, and you stick it on top of the pet carrier. And you want to make sure you give some drinks to your dog. And what I do is I actually have my dog's drinks, put on the door, and I just secure it with the zip ties. All other important links you can find on the description box below. You will need to pay the dog carrier fee on the space for your dog on the plane on Japanese airline counter in Jakarta International Airport when you check in your bag and when you check in. They will ask for all of the papers given by the Soekarno-Hatta Agriculture Quarantine. So, the quarantine will give you a whole set of document, and you need to pass this to the Japanese airline staff. So again, it is really, really important for you to have these papers 2 days prior to leaving the country. And the Japanese airline staff will bill you the total cost of carrying your dog from CGK to Narita and Narita to LAX. Whenever you arrive at LAX, and my transit is actually only 1 hour, and I really make sure that they do not forget about my dog. So whenever I arrive at Narita, I actually tell several stewardess that I have a dog on the plane, and I want my dog to be transferred to the other Japanese airline plane that is ready to leave to LAX. So I make sure I tell a lot of people there. And the documents that you get from Soekarno-Hatta Agriculture Quarantine, you need to pass this document to Narita Airport staff upon you arrive at Narita transit area. And they will make sure that your dog get transferred to the other plane that will bring you to LAX. So some rule of thumb, in order for your dog not to be quarantined in other country, you need to check the regulation of that country. Not all countries are pet friendly. If you choose to use Japanese airline, make sure you buy Japanese airline to Japanese airline. Make sure the layover is one time only at Narita, and that the layover doesn't surpass 4 hours. Again, the layover cannot surpass 4 hours, because if it surpasses 4 hours, your dog will be quarantined for 3 to 4 months. I purchased my ticket from Expedia.com, and there are reasons why I follow all of the procedure above. There are reasons why I follow all of these procedures, because I do not want to lose my dog. So you might think I sound like a broken record repeating this again and again, but I cannot emphasize this enough. Not all airline and not all airport are pet friendly. So the proof of rabies vaccination, you need to get it ready. Upon arrival, when you want to declare your dog, they will ask for this sheet of paper. So do not put all of this document in your big luggage, please. All of this document have to be carried with you. Do not put this document on your big luggage where you have to go through it, okay? So all of the dog's document, be it vaccination, be it papers, you have to hand carry it with you, because they will ask this upon your arrival at LAX airport. And I'm telling you, it is just one sheet. It is easy. You can actually make the template yourself, and I will link the template below, and you can have your vet stamp on it. Okay, have your vet stamp on it whenever you have your dog take the vaccination with her. Okay, so again, I booked the space for my dog. I called Japanese airline in Japan. The Japanese airline customer service at Jakarta cannot help me on reserving space for my dog. They say they do not have the instrument to book the space. And again, the aircraft only have 2 space. So you need to book space for CGK to Narita and Narita to LAX. So book early. Again, the Jakarta customer service just basically cannot help me. Okay, so I hope all of this information are helpful for you. Again, this is just me sharing my story. All of the information that you get from this video, you need to double check it yourself. And there are some helpful links that I will put on the description box. What I want to tell you is bringing your dog to America is not as complicated as bringing it to London. If you want to bring your dog to London, you have to prepare like 3 months prior to your date of departure, because you need your dog to be tested. Their blood needs to be tested. And I think the best clinic in Jakarta is Groovy Clinic in Radio Dalam. So there are several Groovy Clinic, and not all of them the same. So you want to test your dog blood. If you are bringing them to UK, you want to test them at Groovy Clinic at Radio Dalam, and I will give the link on the description box. So again, I hope